Welcome back, everyone, to the Wisdom of Lao Tzu.
Great to be back.
Now, in our previous sessions, we've often encountered Lao Tzu as this, incredibly insightful personal coach, a guide for everyday life. He gives us these really vivid metaphors. Remember, he who stands on tiptoe is not steady. It's all about finding our balance, how to act in the world.
Absolutely. And that practical wisdom is, well, invaluable for just getting through the day-to-day.
Yeah.
But, as we go deeper, it often brings up a more fundamental question, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like, if we're always focused on what should I do right now, sometimes there's this underlying, fatigue almost, a confusion. We're trying to follow the rules of the road, trying to resonate with something bigger, but it can feel like you're navigating without ever really seeing the whole map.
Right. And I think that's amplified today. The whole idea of resonance feels a bit, cheapened sometimes. Echo chambers, social media bubbles, algorithms feeding us stuff.
Yeah. We mistake these fleeting connections for real understanding. We ride one wave, then another, but when it passes, there's this emptiness, no real anchor.
Which forces us back to that core question. What is the ultimate mother wave? The one we should truly be resonating with. If even storms don't last, as Lao Tzu says elsewhere, what's the eternal power worth imitating?
Exactly. So we're moving beyond just the daily currents, looking for the ocean itself. And Lao Tzu actually hinted at this back in chapter 21, didn't he? That ultimate reality being vague and indistinct.
Like seeing mountains through mist. Just an outline suggesting something profound. But, human curiosity, we're not satisfied with just mist for long. We want the full picture.
And it feels like Lao Tzu knew that, because here in chapter 25, he seems to decide, okay, time to part the mist.
He really does. And what he does is this stunning zoom out. We go from individual footsteps, those daily adjustments, right out to the edge of the cosmos. He's not just talking techniques anymore.
Right.
He's giving us this magnificent, creation poem.
Right.
And in doing so, he's laying out what you could call a universal fundamental constitution for all of existence.
A universal fundamental constitution. I love that framing. It really sets the stage for the scale of this chapter. So for this deep dive, we're tackling some huge questions.
Absolutely.
Like, what was operating independently, eternally, before heaven and earth even existed? And how does Lao Tzu place man-humanity right up there with heaven, earth, and the way itself? That's quite something.
It really is.
And then how does that famous line, man models himself on earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so, how does that guide us back to the source, the origin of our own lives? This chapter, it really feels like it has the most expansive vision in the whole Tao Te Ching. It's like the ultimate home for all the wisdom we've gathered so far. So yeah, let's get ready for a proper deep dive into the fabric of existence itself. All right, so to really absorb the majesty and tranquility of this, let's quiet our minds and listen to Lao Tzu's creation poem. We're using D.C. Lao's classic 1963 translation. There is a thing confusedly formed, born before heaven and earth, silent and void. It stands alone and does not change, goes round and does not weary. It is capable of being the mother of the world. I know not its name, so I style it the way. I give it the makeshift name of the great. Being great, it is described as receding. Receding, it is described as far away. Being far away, it is described as turning back. Hence the way is great, heaven is great, earth is great, and the king is also great. Within the realm, there are 4 things that are great, and the king counts as 1. Man models himself on earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so. Wow, just hearing that. You really feel the scale, don't you? It's almost breathtaking. Let's try and break this down line by line. It starts, there is a thing confusedly formed, born before heaven and earth. So something whole, complete, existing before the cosmos as we know it. My mind immediately wants to picture it, grab onto it, but I suspect it's deeper than just an object. What is this thing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It immediately sets up this deep mystery. And then he describes it. Silent and void. It stands alone and does not change, goes round and does not weary. It is capable of being the mother of the world.
That's a lot packed in there.
It really is. Silent and void. Think formless, soundless, beyond our senses. You can't see it, hear it, touch it. It's this absolute fundamental silence and emptiness. But, and this is crucial, it's not a dead silence. It's brimming with creative energy.
Okay.
Stands alone and does not change. It's independent, doesn't rely on anything else, and its essential nature is eternal, unchanging.
And that line, goes round and does not weary. You mentioned something interesting about that one historically.
Ah, yes, that's a critical point for understanding the text's history. That specific phrase, goes round and does not weary, well, It's actually missing from the oldest versions we have, like the Guodian bamboo slips and the Mwangdoi silk text.
Really? So it might have been added later.
Many scholars think so. Perhaps for, literary balance or to make the Tao seem more active. But if we take it as part of the text now, it paints this picture of perpetual, self-driving motion. Cyclical, tireless, like great ocean currents always moving, eternal vitality.
And the mother of the world metaphor that feels so different from, say, a creator God figure.
Absolutely different. It's not a conscious creator shaping things with intent like in many Western myths. The mother here suggests gestation, emergence. It's organic, natural, nurturing. The Tao is both the source and the destination, allowing things to unfold rather than directing them.
But then Lao Tzu pulls back, admits his own limits. I know not its name, so I style it the way. I give it the makeshift name of the great. It sounds almost humble, like language just isn't enough.
It's a really crucial point he's making. He's showing that our language, which needs to categorize and define, just falls short when faced with ultimate reality. The way, or Tao, is just a pragmatic label, a kind of code name, so we can even begin to talk about this infinite concept.
A placeholder, almost. And this greatness isn't static either, is it, he says. Being great, it is described as receding. Receding, it is described as far away. Being far away, it is described as turning back. It sounds like a cycle.
Exactly. It's the fundamental rhythm of the universe. Think of dropping a pebble in water. The ripples expand outwards, receding. They reach the edges, far away, and then somehow the energy returns, turning back. This describes everything. Cosmic expansion and contraction, birth and death, the rise and fall of civilization. It's this perfect, eternal cycle.
And then, after all this cosmic grandeur, he does something truly stunning. He puts humanity right in the mix. Hence, the way is great, heaven is great, earth is great, and the king is also great. Within the realm, there are 4 things that are great, and the king counts as one. Just pause on that for a second. He puts us, well, the king here, we'll get to that, alongside the way, heaven and earth.
It's an incredible affirmation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Profound cosmic humanism. It elevates humanity's potential within the grand scheme.
So how do we live up to that greatness? He gives us the roadmap, that famous cosmic constitution. Man models himself on earth, earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so. Let's quickly unpack that. Man models earth. What does that mean?
Think about earth qualities.
Yeah.
Solid, stable, supportive, nurturing everything without asking for anything back. Modeling earth means being grounded, patient, selfless, reliable.
Okay. And earth models heaven.
Earth's cycle seasons, day and night, follow the larger patterns of the cosmos, the heavens. So Earth aligns itself with that larger cosmic order.
And heaven models the way. So the cosmic order itself follows something even more fundamental.
Exactly. The movements of stars, the laws of physics, they all operate according to the underlying principles of the way, the inherent order of the universe.
Which leads to the ultimate question. What does the way model itself on? And his answer, that which is naturally so, just itself.
It's the ultimate philosophical mic drop.
Yeah.
Really. And that's what we need to dig into now. What does that mean?
All right, now that we've heard the text and got a feel for its sheer scope, let's dive into the core wisdom. We've got 4 big questions to really unpack this chapter.
Sounds good. Let's start with the first one. What is the origin of the universe? Lao Tzu says, there is a thing confusedly formed. For centuries, people sort of understood this as some kind of primordial stuff, right? Like raw material.
Yeah, like cosmic clay or something. Substance metaphysics, you called it.
Exactly. A foundational substance. But then came this revolutionary discovery, the Guodian bamboo slips, the oldest version of the text. And scholars studying these ancient texts, well, they pretty much agree now, it likely wasn't a thing confusedly formed.
Okay. What was it then?
It was likely a state confusedly formed.
A state. That sounds like such a tiny change, one word. Does it really make that much difference?
Oh, it makes a massive difference philosophically. It shifts everything. We move from a static thing to a dynamic state. The origin isn't passive material anymore. It's this incredibly dynamic, whole, complete primordial state that's just buzzing with potential.
So less like clay, more like energy, a field of possibility. Process cosmology, you said.
Precisely. It's about process dynamism right from the very start. Think about how Wang Bi described it. So blended that it cannot be known, yet all things are completed by it.
Okay, break that down. So blended, you can't grasp it.
Yeah, it's so whole, so undifferentiated. Our usual ways of understanding, which rely on categories and distinctions, just can't get a handle on it. Yet paradoxically, everything arises from it. Professor Chen Gang talks about it being a perfectly self-sufficient and harmonious whole. Not made of parts, but infinitely complete, kind of like the singularity before the Big Bang, maybe, containing all potential, but with no specific form yet.
Wow. Okay. And Lao Tzu gives this state a temperament almost. Silent and void, it stands alone and does not change. Goes round and does not weary. Let's revisit those qualities.
Right. Silent and void, it's beyond our senses. Formless, soundless.
Hmm.
An ontological silence, a deep stillness. But not dead silence. It's full of creative potential.
Okay.
Stands alone and does not change. It's independent, eternal in its fundamental nature. Think about the laws of physics. The universe changes constantly, but the underlying laws seem consistent. The way's essential character is constant.
And that does not change. Wang Bai had that interesting take, right? It wasn't about being static.
Exactly. Wang Bi's insight was brilliant. He said, does not change refers to the constant process of cyclical change, returning, ending, beginning. The process itself is the constant. It's change that doesn't change, if that makes sense.
Huh. Yeah, it does in a paradoxical Lao Tzu kind of way. And goes round and does not weary. That potential later addition.
Right. If we include it, it emphasizes that perpetual, self-driving cyclical motion, like those ocean currents, tireless, always moving.
So this silent, void, independent, paradoxically unchanging yet potentially cycling primordial state, this is the mother of the world, and it's definitely not a creator god figure.
Absolutely not. The mother metaphor is all about gestation, emergence, organic nurturing. It allows things to unfold naturally. And here's where it gets incredibly personal, connecting the cosmic to us.
How so?
The Song Dynasty scholar Su Che had this amazing insight. He said this primordial state, this origin of everything, in humans is their original nature.
Whoa. So the source of the universe is also the source within us.
Exactly. That journey to understand the cosmos is actually an inward journey to find the source of our own lives, that silent, eternal, mother-like state. And it's deep within our own nature. Knowing it, knowing the universe, returning to it is returning to ourselves. It brings it all home.
Okay, that's profound. Let's move to the second question. After describing this incredible state, Lao Tzu says, I know not its name, so I style it the way. Now, is this just him being humble, saying, words fail me? Or is there something deeper going on? My gut says it's more than just humility.
You're absolutely right. It's far more profound than just running out of words. There are at least 3 layers of wisdom packed into that statement. First, it's a deep insight into the philosophy of language.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about why we can name a cup. Cup. We see its shape, its boundaries, its function, right? Wang Bei pointed out that names are for defining specific forms. But the way, it's confusedly formed, shapeless, boundless. Any name you give it immediately put the box around it, limits it, distorts its infinite nature. So Wang Bei said, it's fundamentally undefinable. It can't have a true name.
So trying to name it is like trying to bottle the ocean. You lose the oceanness.
Precisely. And the scholar Qian Zongshu made an even finer point, distinguishing between a word, zi, and a name, ming. A word is just a symbol or sound. A name is when you use that word to label a specific thing. Lao Tzu is saying no word can function as a definitive name for this reality. So when he says, I style it the way, he's carefully choosing a style, a word, Tao, as a temporary functional label.
Like a pointer.
Exactly. Just a finger pointing at the moon, not the moon itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so philosophy of language is layer 1. You said there's also a literary technique at play.
Yes. The cultural scholar Yu Qiyu sees this as a brilliant literary device. He calls it the defamiliarization effect. Think about it. Lao Tzu's been using the word way for 20-something chapters already. We, as readers, might be getting a bit comfortable thinking, okay, I get the way.
Yeah, you start to think you've got a handle on it.
Right. But then, boom, he suddenly says, I don't know its name, like he's encountering it for the first time. Yu argues this is intentional. It jolts us out of our familiar understanding, breaks our mental habits. It forces us to confront this ultimate reality with fresh eyes, with that initial sense of awe and wonder again. It shakes us awake.
That's clever. It resets our perspective. Okay, and the third layer. You mentioned modern epistemology, the theory of knowledge.
Absolutely. Professor Lu Xiaogan talks about this as creative ambiguity. Lao Tzu's refusal to give a single precise definition isn't a weakness. It's actually profound wisdom. Why? Because it shows he understood the limits of human cognition.
How so?
Well, history shows us, right? Any theory that claims to have the complete and final truth about everything, it usually ends up being shown as limited, maybe even arrogant later on.
Good point.
The genius of the way, as this vague, open symbol, is that it affirms a unified source, gives us direction, but it also leaves this vast space for the unknown. It can adapt. New scientific discoveries, string theory, whatever comes next, they don't overturn the way. They could potentially find a place within its flexible framework.
So, I know not its name isn't just humility. It's about maintaining awe, recognizing limits, and keeping the door open for deeper understanding. It's the start of exploration, not the end.
Beautifully put. That's exactly it.
All right, let's dig into our third question. After the naming, Lao Tzu describes this dynamic cycle: being great, receding, far away, turning back. That last part, turning back, feng in Chinese, seems absolutely crucial, like the universe's heartbeat.
It is the crucial word. And it's like a stone dropped into the river of thought, creating ripples for centuries. Philosophers, monks, they've all wrestled with it, creating this like spiritual relay race around its meaning. It's evolved into four distinct, profound realms. It's not just semantics, it's a history of the Taoist spirit evolving.
Wow. Okay, so what's the first realm? The most immediate sense of turning back.
Realm 1, the cosmic breath. This is the most intuitive, the grand-scale physical cycle. Imagine the universe starts with this massive energy accumulation.
Yeah.
That's great and expands outwards, receding. It spreads everywhere, far away. And when it reaches its limit, turning back, it returns.
Like breathing in and breathing out.
Exactly. A cosmic-level breath. It's an iron law of the physical world. Things reach an extreme, they reverse. Stars, seasons, empires. Everything follows this rhythm of expansion and contraction, departure and return. It's a universal reminder. Extremes always contain the seeds of their opposite. That's the starting point, grounded in physics.
Okay, universal ebb and flow. How did the thinkers deepen that? What's realm 2?
That brings us to realm 2, the philosophical anchor. Centuries later, the philosopher Wan Bi said, wait, this turning back isn't just a physical U-turn. He shifted the focus inwards to philosophical contemplation. For Wan Bi, the key quality of the way is that even when it goes far away, permeating everything, its substance is independent. It doesn't get lost or defined by where it goes.
It keeps its core identity.
Precisely. So its turning back isn't a retreat. It's an inevitable return to its own independent nature. It embodies philosophical clarity, self-possession. True strength isn't just venturing out. It's remembering who you are and being able to return to your spiritual core. It's about having that inner compass, maintaining your essence no matter what. That was the first big philosophical leap.
That's powerful. Maintaining your core amidst the chaos. Okay, and then another 1,000 years pass for realm 3.
Yeah, in the Song dynasty, Suche offered this almost subversive take, realm 3, the allegory of the heart. He basically said, you're all looking outwards. Lao Tzu is talking about us, about our own hearts.
Really? He turned the whole cosmic cycle inward.
Completely. He saw it as an allegory for the spiritual quest, chasing the great way externally. That's like chasing your shadow. The harder you chase, the faster it recedes, the farther away it gets. Futile.
So what's the answer?
Suche's stunning insight. Turning back. Stop chasing outside. Turn back and seek it within. The heart alone is enough. The way isn't out there. It's right here in your own clear, self-sufficient heart. The quest becomes an inner return. This was a huge shift. The focus moved from heaven and earth to the inner self.
Wow, from the macrocosm to the microcosm, an inward journey. So after returning to the heart, is there an even deeper level, realm 4?
Indeed there is. The Ming Dynasty's Zen master Han King pushed it to the absolute limit, realm 4. The silence of enlightenment. He described it with 4 words. Return to the one, erase all traces.
Erase all traces. What does that mean?
Return to the one is returning to that undifferentiated wholeness beyond all dualities, right, wrong, loopy. But erase all traces is the key. It means extinguishing all thought, all consciousness, all distinctions. Turning back here isn't even a return anymore, it's dissolution.
Dissolution?
Yeah, it's not I returning to my heart. It's the very concept of I, along with the heart and the world, dissolving into the ultimate unspeakable one. Subject and object vanish. Knower and known become one. It's the ultimate merging, the ego dissolving into boundless awareness. This isn't intellectual philosophy. It's the state of Zen realization, where self and world are forgotten. Only pure being remains.
Goodness, what an incredible evolution of meaning in one phrase. From the cosmic breath to philosophical self-awareness, to the inner heart quest, and finally to enlightened dissolution. It maps this amazing journey of consciousness, from gazing at the stars to looking deep within.
It truly does. A testament to the enduring power of these ideas.
All right, let's bring this incredible cosmic vision back down to Earth, specifically to humanity's place and the ultimate law governing everything. Lao Tzu wraps this up by connecting the grand cosmology right back to our lives.
Right. And first, we have to address that famous 1,000-year debate. Lao Tzu says the way is great, heaven is great, girth is great. Okay. But who's the fourth great? The common version says, and the king is also great. But many scholars argued, no, the original must have been, and man is also great.
Why did they think that?
They felt changing man to king was likely a later alteration, maybe to please emperors. It seemed to shrink Lao Tzu's universal concern for all people down to just advice for rulers.
A political edit, basically. So what's the verdict? Did scholarship figure this out?
It did, quite elegantly, thanks again to textual archaeology. Professor Liu Xiaogan found that the earlier Guodian and Mawangdui texts had a slightly different preceding phrase. It wasn't within the realm there are four greats, but within the kingdom there are four greats.
Ah, kingdom, not realm. How does that little word change things?
Think about it. In the specific context of a kingdom, who would naturally stand alongside heaven, earth, and the way as the fourth great, the king, of course, it fits the political reality of the time perfectly.
Okay, that makes sense for that line.
But here's the brilliant part.
Mm-hmm.
Right after establishing the four greats within the kingdom, Lao Tzu shifts to laying out the universal principle everyone should follow. Man models himself on earth. At this point, the subject naturally broadens from the specific king to the universal man, because this principle applies to everyone, including the king.
So the original text flowed perfectly from the specific king in a kingdom to the universal man modeling Earth.
Exactly. The logic was seamless. It was later generations, maybe trying to make it sound more abstract, who changed kingdom to realm and accidentally created this whole king versus man debate.
That's fascinating. So regardless of the textual detail, the core message seems to be a powerful affirmation of humanity's value.
Absolutely. Whichever reading you take, it's clear Lao Tzu placed immense value and potential in humanity. As Professor Fu Piang puts it, this greatness isn't automatic. It's a possibility we have to actively realize through how we live.
Okay. Which brings us to the final, ultimate question. Man models Earth. Earth models heaven. Heaven models the way. What does the way itself model? Lao Tzu's answer. And the way on that, which is naturally so, Ziran.
And let's be crystal clear, Ziran here does not mean nature like trees and rivers. That's a modern meaning.
Yeah.
The consensus among scholars for centuries from Wang Bian onwards is that it means something much deeper.
Okay. So what does it mean? It's interesting you mentioned how Western translations evolved trying to capture it.
Yes, that translation history is a journey in itself. Early missionaries tried the way follows nature, but that creates a paradox. How can the source follow its creation? James Ligg in 1891 offered the law of the Tao is its being what it is, getting closer but maybe a bit rigid with law. Then Arthur Waley in 1934 had a breakthrough, translating Ziran as the self-so, that which is so of itself, that perfectly captures the two characters. See, self and Ran, so or natural. And finally, D.C. Lau in 1963 gave us the very precise, the way models itself on that which is naturally so.
Self-so, naturally so. What does that state feel like? What does it mean in practice?
Wang Bian used a great analogy. In a square, it follows the square. In a circle, it follows the circle. It's perfect dynamic adaptation. It doesn't resist its context. It embodies the natural form or function required by the situation effortlessly.
Okay.
Professor Liu Xiaogan breaks it down into two principles. Internal motivation. It acts from within, not pushed externally. And smooth development. It unfolds naturally without forced breaks. And Professor Fu Perong adds a crucial contrast with Western thought. He calls it self-caused.
Self-caused meaning?
Meaning its existence and operation don't need an external reason or ultimate purpose. It just is, spontaneously. There's no will behind it, no grand plan. It's fulfilling. It's not like a purposeful God creating with intent.
Wow. So the ultimate principle of the universe, it just is, naturally, by itself. No creator, no master plan, no final judge.
That's the profound implication. The highest principle emerges from within all things, from that silent, spontaneous, perfectly self-sufficient original nature. It's not imposed from outside.
And that is the ultimate state we should model ourselves on, returning to our own authentic, unforced, natural way of being. That's the goal. Okay, theories are great, but seeing them in action really brings them home. Let's look at a couple of case studies, how this idea of aligning with the natural order, man models earth, earth models heaven, has actually played out.
Right. In ancient China, this wasn't just abstract philosophy. The way models itself on what is naturally so was like a core operating system for designing the state for daily life. There was this deep belief that human order had to connect to cosmic order for society to thrive.
A kind of cultural DNA. And we see echoes of this in the West too, right? Like with the Romans.
Absolutely. Think about Roman city planning. They were brilliant engineers, sure, but their planning was also deeply spiritual. When they founded a new city or camp, they laid out the Cardo, north-south, and the Decumanus, east-west.
The main streets.
Exactly. But it wasn't just a grid, it was a sacred act, mirroring the cosmic order on Earth, aligning their human world with the cardinal directions. It was man models himself on Earth, quite literally grounding their community in the universal pattern.
So, building cities as microcosms of the cosmos. What about their daily life, their calendar? Did that reflect Earth models itself on heaven?
Very much so. Their whole calendar, their festivals were tied to natural cycles. Planting, harvesting dictated by stars and seasons. Big festivals like Saturnalia weren't random holidays. They marked the winter solstice, the turning point of the sun. It was about participating in the cosmic rhythm, ensuring society moved in harmony with these larger cycles.
So, across cultures, there was the shared ancient wisdom about aligning human life with natural cosmic patterns.
Definitely. This heaven-human resonance shaped everything: politics, law, culture. True governance, true living, meant understanding and aligning with these universal laws, not fighting them.
That shows a profound respect, a deliberate effort to harmonize. But fast forward to more modern times, when we often think technology lets us conquer nature, bend it to our will. Well, we sometimes learn hard lessons from the way, don't we?
Painfully so. The Aral Sea tragedy is a stark, heartbreaking example. It used to be the fourth largest lake in the world, this vibrant heart in Central Asia.
Right.
But in the 1960s, the decision was made, seemingly wise economically at the time, to divert the rivers, feeding it for massive cotton and rice irrigation projects. Pure human will, short-term goals, overriding natural limits.
And the consequences were devastating, a clear case of defying the natural order.
Utterly devastating. Within decades, that huge lake shrank by 90%. Salinity shot up, killing off the fish, destroying livelihoods. Former ports are now miles from water, overlooking toxic salt deserts.
Toxic deserts.
Yeah, the dry lake bed kicks up dust laced with pesticides and chemicals from the agriculture. These toxic storms cause horrific health problems, cancers, respiratory diseases, birth defects for the people living there. The economic boom turned into an environmental and human catastrophe.
It sounds like a perfect, tragic illustration of that cycle we talked about. Being great, it is described as receding, far away, turning back.
It maps perfectly, doesn't it? The great ambition for agricultural abundance led directly to the ecosystem collapse, the receding. The negative impact spread far beyond the lake itself, far away. And ultimately, it turned back into poverty and disaster far worse than before. It's the Way's cold, impartial law in action.
From Roman planning showing alignment to the Aral Sea showing defiance, the principle holds.
The Way demonstrates its power whether we align or defy. But Lao Tzu's wisdom isn't just for analyzing history, it's always about our choices now. So, seeing this cosmic map and the cost of ignoring it, the real task is to internalize this law, apply it to our own lives.
So, how do we bring this down to Earth, personally? After this huge cosmic journey, what's a practical step? Here's a little mindfulness experiment you can try this week. Let's call it the Sync with the Rhythm exercise.
I like that. This exercise really distills that core wisdom, the way on that which is naturally so, into something you can do right now. The basic idea is simple. A lot of our modern stress comes from constantly fighting our own natural rhythms, right?
Yeah.
Body, mind.
Pushing through everything.
Exactly. This exercise is about experiencing the ease and power that comes from syncing with those rhythms instead of fighting them. Just a small conscious shift.
Syncing versus fighting, that feels key. Okay, so what are the instructions?
Just this. Sometime this week, pick at least one occasion where you consciously choose to sync with the natural rhythm instead of pushing against it. Here are a few common examples.
Okay, let's hear them. Scenario 1, the afternoon slump. You know, that 2 or 3 p.m. drowsiness. Usual reaction. Grab coffee, power through. The experiment. Try giving yourself just 5 or 10 minutes. Put your head down, close your eyes, whatever. Consciously sync with the sleepiness. Don't label it lazy. See it as your body's natural signal for a mini reset. You might find it more refreshing than caffeine.
Acknowledging the body's wisdom.
Scenario 2, your work rhythm. You probably notice you have peak focus times and more sluggish times, right? The experiment. Try to align your tasks. Do the hard creative stuff during your peak hours. Save the routine administrative stuff for the natural lulls. Don't force creativity when it's not flowing. Ride your natural energy wave instead. Less friction, maybe more output.
Makes sense. Work with the flow, not against it.
Scenario 3, the tide of emotions. An unexpected wave hits sadness, irritation, even joy, our habit. Distract ourselves immediately. Phone, food, busy work.
anything to avoid feeling it sometimes.
Right. The experiment. Just sit quietly for a few minutes. Sync with the emotion. Observe it coming and going like watching clouds pass. No judgment, no resistance, no trying to change it. Just let it be. Let it flow through. You might find emotions have their own natural course when you don't interfere.
So the core idea isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about becoming a skillful surfer on the waves of life.
Exactly. You feel the current, your body's rhythm, your mind's energy, your emotions, and you use its power to move forward gracefully instead of constantly paddling against it.
It's really condensing that huge cosmic principle, the way on that which is naturally so, into a tiny doable action. Experiencing that power comes from surrender, not force.
And when we start modeling ourselves on what's natural in these small ways, maybe that's how we begin the journey back to the source of our own lives. It's a profound shift, starting small. So friends, chapter 25, what a journey. Lao Tzu unrolled this magnificent scroll for us, showing everything from the universe's origin to the cycles of existence, and landing on humanity's mission within it all.
And the core message seems to be that greatness isn't about conquering or possessing. It's about modeling, aligning, and ultimately returning to that truest, most original version of yourself.
That self-sufficient state that exists beneath all the noise.
Mm-hmm.
And the map for that return is right there in that timeless maxim. Man models himself on earth, earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so. Okay, so we've just been gazing at the cosmos, connecting with the universe's origin, and now in the very next chapter, Lao Tzu yanks the camera right back down to something very familiar, almost mundane. Leadership, managing teams, governing.
Right. And he throws down this gauntlet, this thesis that seems totally counterintuitive today. He says a good leader understands that the heavy is the root of the light, and stillness is the master of restlessness.
Heavy is the root of light. Stillness masters restlessness. In our world, obsessed with agility, flexibility, fast iteration, asset light, everything, why is he pushing heaviness and stillness?
It's a real challenge to our modern assumptions, isn't it? What possible wisdom could there be in these seemingly outdated qualities?
Exactly. And how can a busy leader travel all day without leaving his heavy baggage train? Is he just being conservative, stuck in the past? Or is this some deep, forgotten wisdom about stability and grounding that we've lost in our rush?
It makes you think, doesn't it? What feels heavy in your own life right now? Responsibilities, commitments, core values, and what feels light? Trends, quick fixes, distractions. How might Lao Tzu flip your understanding of their relationship?
Suggesting maybe true lightness, true agility actually comes from having that solid, heavy foundation.
Perhaps it's something to chew on.
Absolutely. So join us next time as we dive deep into chapter 26. Let's see how Lao Tzu tries to inject some much-needed, weighty ballast into our often light and flighty modern era. We can't wait to explore it with you.